Have you ever noticed how certain men seem to attract women without even trying? They're not the most handsome, the richest, or the ones who say the perfect lines, yet there's something about them that makes women obsess over them. What do they have in common? Here's the secret. Attraction isn't about luck, it's not about genetics, and it's definitely not just about looks. It's a series of behaviors, strategies, and psychological principles that spark deep interest in a woman's mind. And the best part is, anyone can learn them and apply them today. What you're about to discover isn't cheap tricks or pre-made lines. It's principles that have been tested time and time again by the best in the art of seduction. Because yes, attraction is an art, but it's also a science. And in this video, we'll break down the principles that can make a woman think about you day and night without you having to chase her or constantly show your interest. Many people believe that seduction is a gift that some are born with and others are not. But that's not true. Neil Strauss, author of The Game and the Rules of the Game, was once an average guy, ignored by women and without any natural advantage. However, he discovered that attraction isn't random. It's a set of behavioral patterns that can be understood and replicated by anyone. Women don't obsess over a man because of what he says or what he has. They obsess over how he makes them feel. And here's the key that almost no one understands. Think about it for a moment. Surely you know a woman who's been hooked on a guy who isn't the most attractive or the nicest. He may have even treated her indifferently, and still she stays there wondering why she can't get him out of her head. Here's where most men go wrong. Many believe that to win a woman over, they need to show their interest, always be available, and let her know how much they desire her. But instead of attracting her, this pushes her away. The men who make women obsessed do something different. They don't chase. They create an experience where the woman feels intrigued, excited, and challenged. They generate intense emotions. They immerse her in a game where uncertainty and desire keep her hooked. In this video, we'll see how you can replicate this phenomenon without needing to be famous, rich, or a magazine model. We'll break down the myths about seduction and build a new mindset. The mindset of a man who becomes irresistibly attractive naturally. And here's my challenge for you. If you apply these principles, you'll notice immediate changes in how women react to you. So get ready, because what you're about to discover will change how you perceive yourself and how women see you. Now let's talk about the first mistake most men make that unknowingly pushes women away from attraction. The majority of men make the same mistake when trying to attract a woman. They focus on being liked instead of awakening her desire. They believe that if they're attentive enough, kind enough, and demonstrative enough, she'll eventually feel the same. But the reality is, this strategy rarely works. When a man goes out of his way to be accepted, what he's really projecting is neediness, and neediness is the opposite of attraction. On the other hand, the men women desire intensely aren't obsessed with being liked. They create a challenge. They project scarcity and make her feel like winning their attention is an accomplishment. Neil Strauss explains it clearly in The Game. What's valuable is what's not available to everyone. If a woman perceives that she can have you at any moment without effort or challenge, her interest will drop drastically. Instead, when a man is a challenge, when she feels that she has to do something to earn his attention, she activates a psychological mechanism known as cognitive dissonance. The more effort she invests in winning him over, the more important he becomes in her mind. This is where the concept of scarcity comes into play. Think about any exclusive product that's hard to get. What happens when a luxury item becomes rare and scarce? Its value skyrockets. People are willing to pay more, wait in line for hours, or even fight to get it. The same thing happens in attraction. When a man isn't immediately available, when he seems to have standards and isn't desperate for validation, his perceived value rises. Now, observe the difference between two men interacting with a woman. The first man does everything to impress her. He tells her how beautiful she is, laughs at everything she says, responds to her messages in seconds, and fills her with compliments. Unknowingly, what he's doing is transmitting that his validation depends on her. Deep down, she feels she already has him locked down, and as a result, she loses interest. The second man, on the other hand, doesn't try to win her approval. He's pleasant but not flattering. He listens but doesn't try to impress. He's not available all the time. And instead of showing immediate interest, he lets the conversation flow naturally. He's the one setting the rules of the game, choosing when to invest his attention. And most importantly, he's not afraid of losing her, because he knows his value doesn't depend on her validation. Which of the two do you think generates more attraction? From today, stop trying to impress her. Instead, focus on making her want to impress you. Shift your focus. Instead of proving to her that you're a great option, make her feel like she needs to prove to you that she's worth your time. How can you start? By reducing your availability. Don't respond to messages immediately. Don't change your plans for her. Don't show excessive emotion in the first encounters. This doesn't mean being indifferent or playing hard to get. It means projecting value, confidence, and knowing that you're someone who doesn't need to chase. Because the men that women desire aren't those who try to get them to like them, but those who make them want to win them over. In the next part, we'll discuss a key principle of attraction: the power of mystery and intrigue. A predictable man is boring, but when you learn how to generate curiosity and anticipation, you make a woman think about you even when you're not around. Attraction isn't just chemistry, looks, or personality. It's a psychological game where uncertainty plays a key role. Think about it. Have you ever become obsessed with a TV show because the episode ended on a cliffhanger? Or couldn't stop thinking about a book because the story was left unfinished at a critical moment? This doesn't happen by accident. It's a psychological principle known as the Zeigarnik effect, which explains why unfinished stories keep our minds hooked. The human brain hates uncertainty, and when it doesn't get a clear answer, it keeps searching for closure. In attraction, this phenomenon is one of the most powerful tools you can use. Women don't get obsessed with the predictable, they get obsessed with the mysterious. If a man reveals everything about himself in the first conversation, responds to every message immediately, and constantly makes it clear how he feels, he doesn't create intrigue. And without intrigue, there's no desire. Natural seducers understand this instinctively. Neil Strauss discovered this after studying men who, seemingly without effort, made women want to know more about them. How did they do it? They never gave away everything all at once. They made sure to leave details unresolved, creating small gaps in the conversation that force the other person to want to know more. Imagine someone says to you, "You won't believe what happened to me today," and then goes silent. Instantly, your mind enters a state of curiosity. You want the full story. You need that closure. The same thing happens when you apply this in attraction. In a conversation, instead of telling her everything about yourself, leave small hints. If she asks what you do for a living, instead of giving a direct and boring answer, you could say, "It's complicated. Let's just say I help people see things from a different perspective." This response doesn't just avoid monotony, it leaves her wanting more information. In text messages, instead of replying immediately to everything she says, leave strategic pauses. If she asks what you're doing, instead of saying, "I'm watching a movie," you could say, "I'm watching a movie that reminds me of you, but I'm not sure if I should tell you why." With a phrase like this, she doesn't just stay intrigued. She feels the need to keep the conversation going. During a date, use the unfinished story technique. In the middle of an interesting anecdote, pause and change the subject. If she's really hooked, she'll inevitably ask, "What happened?" In that moment, you'll know you've successfully activated her curiosity. Men who reveal too much right away kill the mystery, and without mystery, attraction becomes predictable. So here's an exercise for today. Send an intriguing message to someone you're conversing with and watch their reaction. Don't explain everything immediately. Leave a question hanging in the air. Create anticipation. You'll see how their interest grows without you having to put in any extra effort. The difference between a man who projects magnetic energy and one who simply tries to seem dominant is authenticity. Many men, when trying to build confidence, fall into the trap of arrogance. They talk too much about themselves, try to impress, act like they don't care about anything, but this attitude is fake and easily detectable. True magnetism doesn't come from trying to prove superiority. It comes from a calm, relaxed confidence that effortlessly communicates that you are a high-value man. This is where many fail. They believe being an alpha male means being the loudest in the room, making exaggerated jokes, or treating women with indifference. But the men who truly master attraction, the ones who leave a lasting impression in a woman's mind, are the ones who don't feel the need to prove anything. High-value men handle rejection naturally. They don't take it as an attack on their ego because they know their appeal doesn't depend on one person. This is crucial. A man who gets offended or reacts with frustration to rejection shows that his validation comes from external acceptance. On the other hand, a man who smiles, takes it calmly, and moves on projects in unshakable confidence. Neil Strauss was someone who, before diving into the study of seduction, felt invisible to women. He had no presence, didn't know how to generate attraction, and most importantly, his mindset was filled with insecurity. But when he understood the true inner game of natural seducers, he stopped trying to be something he wasn't and began to project value authentically. The key lies in your body language and your gaze. Words can lie, but the body doesn't. If you speak confidently but have a closed posture, if you say you're sure of yourself but avoid eye contact, your nonverbal communication betrays your intention. A man with true magnetism maintains a relaxed but firm posture. Being tense or uncomfortable doesn't convey the need to fill silences with empty words. He walks with confidence, without rushing, as if he knows exactly where he's going. He holds eye contact calmly, not challenging but without looking away too quickly. A practical exercise to start projecting power before any interaction is to practice confidence anchoring. Before entering any conversation, take a pause, straighten your posture, breathe deeply, and visualize a moment when you felt absolutely confident. Maintain that energy and enter the interaction with an attitude of curiosity, not need. The next time you speak with someone, try this. Instead of worrying about what you'll say, focus on how you feel internally and what you're transmitting without words. You'll notice that your presence changes and that people respond to you differently. In the next part, we're going to take this to another level with a concept that transforms attraction into something much deeper: emotional escalation. How to make a woman feel an intense connection with you by alternating between moments of fun and emotional depth. Women don't obsess over logic or lists of reasons to be with a man. They obsess over how he makes them feel. Attraction is an emotional game, not one of arguments. No matter how smart, successful, or good-looking you are, if you don't evoke intense emotions in a woman, you won't generate the level of attraction that makes her think about you even when you're not around. This is where the game of emotional escalation comes in. Most men make a critical mistake. Either they're too serious and deep from the start, or they're too relaxed and never manage to take the interaction to a real connection. The key is to alternate between moments of fun and playful challenge, then take the conversation to unexpected emotional depth. This contrast is what keeps a woman hooked. If you're just joking around and never go deeper, she'll see you as just another friend. If you're too deep without having first established a fun and light vibe, the conversation will become heavy or boring. The secret lies in the emotional roller coaster dynamic. Instead of maintaining a single energy throughout the interaction, you need to create peaks of emotion and moments of pause. Think of it like a well-built movie. It has moments of laughter, tension, surprise, and deep connection. If a story is completely flat, it loses its impact. The same happens with attraction. Imagine a conversation where you shift from playful to intimate in just a few minutes. She says, "You're a bit full of yourself. Did you know that?" And you respond, "I know, but I have a good reason for it. Only the best can pull it off." You say this with a smile, in a joking tone, creating a playful challenge. She replies, "So modest, huh?" And you, with a subtle shift, say, "But seriously, sometimes I act like this because deep down I've always been a little shy. I've learned to laugh at myself and to play with my confidence even though I didn't always have it." Here you shift from playful to a personal revelation. This type of emotional shift creates a stronger bond because you're showing different layers of your personality without overexerting yourself. This method is especially powerful in dating. Start with an energy of challenge and play, where she feels she needs to earn your validation. Then, at the right moment, shift the tone and open up a more personal conversation about something emotionally compelling, like dreams, fears, or life experiences that shaped her. Now do it yourself in your next interaction. Start with a challenging comment or joke, and when the conversation is at its highest point of energy, change the tone and share something genuine about yourself. This will make her feel like the conversation has depth, keeping her mind hooked on the experience. Next, we'll talk about something that makes women not only attracted to you, but also see you as a man with a magnetic lifestyle, someone worthy of admiration. The key to getting a woman to desire you beyond physical attraction is building a life that she wants to be a part of. Women don't look for a man who begs for attention. They seek a man whose life is interesting enough for them to want to join. They don't seek validation, they seek a story. This is the most powerful principle of attraction, yet the most ignored. Many men think they must impress a woman by telling her who they are, talking about their achievements, how much they've worked, what they can offer. But the truth is that women are not attracted to words, but to the energy a man projects through his life. Neil Strauss discovered this when he went from being a shy and insecure journalist to becoming one of the most magnetic men in the world of seduction. He didn't change his DNA or undergo surgery to look different. What he did was build a more attractive life for himself, and that automatically made him more attractive to others. Here's where a key concept in attraction comes in: pre-selection. The pre-selection effect is simple. Women feel an unconscious attraction to men who other women already consider valuable. It's a psychological principle based on scarcity and social value. If a man is already desired by others, he automatically becomes more attractive. But there's a difference between showing that you have options and bragging about having options. A man who brags about how many women he wants or how many he's been with is actually seeking validation. A man with natural preselection doesn't mention it directly, but his body language, his confidence, and the way he interacts make it clear that he's someone with many options. How can you apply this without forcing the situation? Surround yourself with women in social environments, not necessarily for dating, but as friends, colleagues, or even family. The simple act of being comfortable with women and knowing how to interact with them naturally projects preselection. Don't show neediness. A high-value man doesn't rush to reply to messages, doesn't cancel plans for a woman, and doesn't act desperate for her approval. Live an interesting life for yourself. You have hobbies, projects, and activities you genuinely enjoy. When your life has purpose, attraction grows organically. Practical exercise. Make a list of 3 things you could do to build a more attractive lifestyle for yourself. It's not about changing for women, but improving your energy and presence. It could be learning a new language, taking a dance class, traveling to a new place, or developing a new skill. The idea is that when you talk about your life, you don't sound boring or predictable, but like someone with unique experiences that are worth getting to know. Women don't want to be your only source of happiness. They want to join a story that's already exciting. And here we reach the final part of the video. If you apply these principles, you'll not only become more attractive right away, but you'll change the way you view attraction forever. Because the true key is not in conquering a woman, but in becoming the type of man they want to conquer. We've gone beyond simple attraction advice. What you've just discovered is not just a set of techniques, but a total shift in how you understand desire and obsession. If you really want a woman to think about you constantly, you can't act like most men. You can't be the one who chases, who tries to impress, or the one who makes himself too available. In this video, you learned 5 fundamental keys. The error of trying to please instead of creating a challenge. Attraction isn't about proving your value, but making her feel like she has to earn your attention. The power of mystery and intrigue, uncertainty and unfinished stories make her mind stay hooked on the idea of you. How to project the energy of an alpha male without being arrogant. True confidence doesn't need to be demonstrated, it's felt. The emotional escalation game. Alternating between fun and depth creates an intense and unforgettable connection. How to develop an attractive lifestyle. Women don't seek validation. They seek men with an exciting story they want to join. Now the decision is yours. You can keep doing the same and get the same results, or you can start applying these principles and notice the changes starting today. And here's the real secret. Obsession isn't about chasing. It's about creating an experience she can't forget. If you've made it this far, I want to challenge you. Take one of these strategies and put it into practice today. It could be not responding to a message immediately to create intrigue, starting a conversation with a playful challenge, or improving your body language to project more confidence. Do it and tell me in the comments what happened, because I assure you that when you start applying this, you'll not only notice the difference in how women perceive you, but in how you feel about yourself.